Hello, welcome to this week's track guide. We're at LimeRock Park this week. So take a look around and get a couple of laps in like usual. So out of pit lane into turn 1. Turn 1's a really long right-hander. You come into it with a lot of speed. You want to slow the car down whilst you're going through the corner and run wide and then come back and hit this apex. Then we come into one of the only left-handers on the course. Again, let the car go out wide and then cut back for the apex. Then this right-hander is difficult. You want to make sure you don't run wide on the exit, because if you get into this grass, you're just in a constant battle trying not to end up in the wall there. Then that's the second left-hander, which isn't really a corner. And then we come to the uphill. So when you take this, you want to stay a little bit central to control the way the car jumps. And that will hopefully stop you ending up in one of those walls. Then West Bend is a fast right-hander. And the downhill is another fast right-hander. It's a critical corner for your lap time. Okay, so coming into turn 1, we're going to brake on the 4. Down to 3rd. Down to 2nd, keep it tight, let it run a little bit wide, and then back for the apex. Up to 3rd and back down to 2nd again. Braking all the way through there, and keep the car left for the right-hander. Don't run wide, up to 4th, back down to 3rd again. Keep the car a little bit away from the exit, just to keep it straight over the jump. Back down to 3rd for West Bend. And then leave it in 4th for the final turn. Okay, let's try and put a fast lap in. Not the best lap, but a reasonably good example of a good lap here. So let's go and take a look at that. Okay, so heading into turn 1, we're braking 4.5. You could probably brake a little later than I did there, and let the car wash out even further left in turn 1. So call it the 4. I think I pretty much brake on the little bit before. So yeah, the 4, maybe even later depending on your setup. And then we'll hit the first apex and then let the car wash out, but not too far, just up onto this sort of concrete, I guess that is the concrete patch, and then cut back in for the second apex. I'm 3rd on the way in, 2nd through the turn, and then back to 3rd. Get the car out a little bit to the right, but it's not worth, in my opinion, getting all the way out to the right. And also in the race, you're going to want to leave the gap on the right there for the Nissans. My advice would be to stay left, because you exit the corner, you're going to exit the corner on the left. Just stay left. So then there's no crossing the track in front of the Nissans is never a great idea. So stay left and then let them go around the outside there. So then we're just lightly trail braking all the way through here. Back down to 2nd gear, and then just an extra squeeze of the brake to turn the car in. just before the apex there. And then keep the car left again. You probably will get passed by Nissans into the right-hander. So same thing, stay over to the left. Then we're up to third gear. Just personally, I find that easier than being in second and having to shift on the exit. So I'm getting up into third before the corner. Hit the apex. And then don't run too wide. If you're getting up on top of that curb, you're in... I mean, that was okay. But if you're getting up on top of the curb at the end of the curb, then you're in danger of ending up in the barrier there. So then again here, obviously the fast line is to take this apex. If you've got a Nissan following you, you're probably going to want to stay a bit left. Let them give them a car's width to get through there, and then that doesn't really affect you too much. If they go around your left-hand side and they don't have time to actually pass you, then it's going to mess you up for the uphill and for the jump. So it's probably better to let them go on the right-hand side there. So then obviously we need all the track here. So we're braking. There's a little sort of it's more obvious when you're in the car. But there's a little, oh, there you go. There's a kink in the white line there, which is my braking reference. So hit the brakes, stay as far left as you can, and then down to third and a nice smooth entry. I'm shifting to fourth just before I take off. It's just more consistent for me. I'm missing a lot of shifts if I'm trying to shift mid-air. Also, as I mentioned, staying kind of away from the very outside of the track, because you've got a lot of momentum carrying you left at this point. So it's better just to give yourself a little bit of space as you take off. And also less of a bump there on the jump is a little bit smoother. So then we're up to fourth. Down to third again for the West Bend. The concrete is kind of a good reference as a good sort of line to follow. Obviously, I missed the apex there, so this isn't a brilliant lap, but the idea is right. Run the car wide onto the curb, and then leave it in fourth gear. When the track's rubbered in, it's nice and dark, and you can kind of see your braking point based on the big rubbery line on the track. And then you want to be as close as you can get to this curb without getting up on top of it, because that will unsettle the car and send you off wide on the exit. Then use all the track on the way out of the turn, and then it's pretty straightforward from there. So that was a 49.8. I would say in these conditions you could probably 49.6, 49.5, maybe a little quicker. But yeah, hopefully there's something helpful for everyone in this lap guide. I'll see you next week.